Wow, interesting. So, the WBO has now moved officially to order Anthony Joshua versus his mandatory challenger, Alexander Usyk. And he has only 30 days to agree the fight with Usyk. Now, before I give my opinion, let me read to you the official statement from the WBO. It says the following: WBO World Championship Committee hereby orders the parties herein commencement of negotiations for the above mentioned WBO heavyweight mandatory championship contest. Please be advised that the parties have 30 days upon receipt of this letter to reach an agreement. If an accord is not reached within the time frame set forth herein, a purse bid will be ordered pursuant with the WBO regulations of World Championship contests. Wow, this is a complete madness if the truth be known, because Sky Sports actually posted another article up earlier today, basically saying that the WBO and the IBF are in some sort of chats and whatnot, and they're both trying to battle it out. And as we heard from Eddie Hearn, I actually done a video on it. Eddie Hearn said 2 or 3 days ago that he's more comfortable, he's more certain that it'll be the IBF, and I myself reacted and said I think it probably will be the IBF, which is Kubrat Pulev, because historically speaking, the IBF have been the really strict ones, and also look at the WBO. The WBO is historically a mess. They look at Frank Warren, Fish Eyes all over the place. Fish Eyes does what he wants with the WBO. He picks and chooses where he goes. So to hear now the WBO are the ones putting their feet down, it seems messy, and it's got my brain kind of ticking over. I think to myself now, it looks like there might have been some brown envelopes exchanged here, in as much as if Eddie Hearn and AJ were looking more towards the Pulev fight, and that was making sense, now all of a sudden WBO have come out of nowhere and essentially trying to put their foot down. Why would they want to put their feet down when AJ's happily paying his sanctioning fees? And by the way, AJ's sanctioning fees will be the highest because he earns the most. So I'm thinking, what's going on here? It seems to me as if Al Heyman potentially has slid some envelopes, because we know the WBO, they're the most open to manipulation of any board. Or in fact, not as bad as WBC, but they're not far off. Meaning that I reckon Al Heyman said, you know what? Now's our perfect chance to strike, because if we don't strike now, it's going to be another few years before this mandatory situation comes up again, where AJ's kind of backed into a hole where he's got a number of mandatories at once. So now's the time to strike, i.e. they can't strip AJ for nothing, but if they strip him based on the mandatory clashing, that'll be convenient, and then they can let Wilder fight some bum. So who would they bring in? God knows who. They drag in some random dude to fight Wilder instead. Then again, that'll be Usyk versus Wilder. So to be honest with you, if it meant AJ getting stripped to see Wilder versus Usyk, I wouldn't even mind that fight, to be honest. But knowing what will happen is AJ will get stripped, Usyk, something will happen to him, and it'll be Wilder versus, I don't know, Wilder versus Ortiz 3 or Wilder versus Dominic Brazil 2, something like that. That's what will happen, trust me. When AJ gets Usyk and Wilder will get Bermane Stiverne 3. That's what will happen. Anyway, my other thoughts on it. Let's pretend there's not manipulation going on. Let's pretend this has just happened for some other reason. I do wonder why, maybe behind the door, closed doors, AJ and his team maybe behind closed doors, AJ and his team have been working with the WBO, and this has been agreed. But like I said, Eddie Hearn seemed more comfortable going with Pulev, and in my mind, Pulev makes sense because Andy Ruiz was a tough fight. A fight which almost took AJ out of his nature. They had to train. I'm a massive fan, but me and many others didn't believe AJ could box like that, meaning that he spent the last 6 weeks really going away from his foundations. So this Pulev fight, Pulev's very stiff. He's very, in my opinion, easy for AJ, and he'll be the perfect comeback opponent. Kind of bridging that gap. Pulev for me will be the perfect opponent for AJ to put everything together, because he doesn't really have to worry about much coming back. Yes, of course, Pulev's a big man, experienced man, but he's 40 years old. He's not really quick. He hasn't got combinations. He hasn't got loads of pressure. He's smaller, etc., etc. Meaning that this fight would be perfect for AJ to put it all together now. Learn how to mix it up and use his boxing rather than one or the other. But that said, Usyk instead makes less sense, but still AJ will deal with both of them. That's the great thing about AJ. What he proved to me on December 7th is that, trust me, if he can learn to go from the stiff robot he allegedly was to better than Tyson Fury in 6 months, trust me, beating a cruiserweight won't be an issue. and he's got another 5 months, and he's already back in the gym, as some people have already reported. He's already back in the gym, so it's not like he's going to be... This is the great thing about AJ as well. AJ, like most other sports don't take time off, by the way. Most other sports are in the gym or training year round for years and years and years on end. Michael Phelps, he trained like 8 years on the trot, day in, day out. Maybe had probably 20, 30 days off within that 8-year period. So it can be done. And I think AJ's starting to adopt that. And what you'll notice is when fighters who do this, like Floyd Mayweather, he was always kind of in the gym. Meaning that's how you see the greatest increase in your skills and your IQ, is by being in the gym and treating it like a sport. Footballers are kind of similar. They train year round. That's how you should be doing it, to be honest. I'm not saying you should be in the gym taking headshots year round, but learning boxing should be happening year round. Not like Ricky Fatton in the gym for 8 weeks, crash dieting, crash learning, and then out of the gym for 6 months. That doesn't make sense. You're an athlete. A lot of boxers, they spend more time out of gym than in the gym. How does that work? It's the opposite. But anyway, the fact of the matter is, not only if AJ does fight Usyk next, which it seems might be the case given that the WBO have only given him 30 days now, it's going to prove even more this is the real man. Not only just by, in fact, he doesn't even have to beat Usyk. The fact he's prepared to go from Andy Ruiz to Usyk, this man's is unlike any other man. He's unlike any other. And if and when he beats Usyk, there's nothing more to be said, man. There really isn't. There's nothing more to be said. This man is a throwback fighter. And not even only in the heavyweight division. Look through the divisions now. Who is really stepping up and fighting anyone back to back to back? Top 5, top 3, back to back. Who's doing it? I sit here and I think to myself, who is really doing it? Even Lomachenko? Is he? I don't know. You tell me. I struggle. Tippity top of every single person who wants it. He's there, on it, bang on it. He's finding a way to get it done as well, by any means necessary. Even if it means he has to change his whole fighting style, he does it to win. There ain't nothing like this man out there, man. It's embarrassing. Wilder, on the other hand, what's he doing? What's Fury doing? What's Fury been doing? Going life and death with random people. It's shocking. Oh, I'm the new champion. Oh, Wilder, I'm WBC champion. WBC champion. This goes to show as well. AJ's got 3 belts and he's obliging all of them. Wilder can't even oblige one. He's got the WBC, aka Dillian White. Dillian White been waiting 3 years. AJ, on the other hand, Usyk comes up to heavyweight, don't even fight at heavyweight, don't even fight anyone in the top 10 at heavyweight, and he's already in a mandatory position, which AJ's happy to oblige. Meanwhile, Wilder, Dillian White, never mind coming up from cruiserweight, Dillian White's been there for 3 years, more or less, and Wilder still don't want to fight him. What's going on? It's mental. And this goes to show, whilst Wilder's still waiting to fight his main mandatory 4 years later. Meanwhile, AJ's fighting fresh ones, back to back to back to back. That there is a difference in class. A true difference in class. Anyway, the last thing I'll say is, it does frustrate me, not because, I think, to be honest, from a fan's point of view, this Usyk fight's more interesting competitively wise. The Pulev fight would have been great to get AJ's knockout juices flowing. But to be honest, I think AJ knocks out Usyk as well, to be fair. I think the fight will actually be harder for AJ if he employs a boxing kind of stance, because Andy Ruiz is happy to come forward and have his punch right in for him. But Usyk will be a lot more trickier, in my opinion. AJ's best bets against Usyk will be using his weight, using his power, and busting Usyk up. I don't believe Usyk has the power to hurt AJ. I just don't. And I think also as well, Usyk has like 1 or 2 shots. He does not known as a massive combination puncher. And I think AJ, defensively speaking, having dealt with someone like Ruiz, who rattles off real fast combinations, going to someone a bit more stiff and a bit more long, like Usyk, he'll see them shots. It will be like he's fighting someone in treacle. It will be a lot easier, in my opinion. And also, Usyk's style, in my opinion, is easier to deal with because pressure's hard to deal with. Loads of combinations is hard to deal with, both of which Usyk doesn't really do. But anyway, I've got massive confidence in AJ's team now to get it done, because they've solved that Ruiz puzzle, and I think that was the hardest in the division to solve. So they've solved that. We can be confident 6 months from now they'll solve another one, no problem. But it does frustrate me that that WBO have moved so eagerly to order this. I just don't understand the logic. Like, as an example, let's say if Usyk was Dillian White and he'd been waiting for 6 years or 2 years, and he'd been at heavyweight for it, he's proven himself, he's beaten top people, I'd be saying, you know what, I get it. He's in a rush to get it. But you've got Usyk who come to heavyweight. I'm backing Usyk as well. I'd love to see Usyk versus Wilder. I'm backing Usyk, but I'm saying he came to heavyweight. He fought some random bum. Did he look great? Not really. Meaning that I'm struggling to say, what's the rush for? Why are we rushing to get Usyk in there? Let's see him prove himself first. Let's see him beat Chisora. I'm not sure he beats Chisora, as an example. I want to see something. I want to see Usyk beat a top 10 fighter. That's what I want to see. And then we can start calling up mandatories. I just don't think it makes sense at the moment, personally speaking. And I wonder what ulterior motive there possibly is. Anyway, that's my thoughts. Let me know yours.